The Imola GP was always going to be a dramatic weekend as teams continued to try and adapt to the new regulations. Even if you watched the race, there was so much going on this weekend that you will have missed some of the storylines. So let's get you filled in. Let's start with the race itself. It was Max Verstappen's turn to take the victory this week as he dominated all weekend. Taking a maximum 34 points from the weekend was everything he deserved. 8 points for a sprint race win, 1 point for the fastest lap, and 25 points for winning the main event on Sunday was an incredible return to form after the disappointment of another DNF in Australia. While Max's performance made a significant dent in Charles Leclerc's Drivers' Championship lead, it was made into an even better weekend for the reigning champion by Charles Leclerc making a costly mistake. The Ferrari driver was pushing to try to pass Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez after a late pit stop when he lost control at the Variante Alta chicane in Imola. Leclerc had to pit for a new front wing and fresh tyres and dropped to 9th and could only recover to 6th. The error enabled Verstappen to slash his deficit to Leclerc from 45 points to 27, moving the Dutchman up from 5th in the championship to 2nd. Until Leclerc's mistake, the Ferrari driver appeared to be heading for a frustrating but acceptable 3rd place. It made for a nightmare race for Ferrari, who'd lost Leclerc's teammate Carlos Sainz on the first lap when the Spaniard was tipped into the gravel by McLaren's Daniel Ricciardo. While it was a nightmare for Ferrari, Red Bull only dropped 1 point all weekend from a possible 59. Christian Horner summed up the team's weekend perfectly. "We attacked the weekend from the word go, and both drivers have been unbelievable. Both Max and Checo have driven brilliantly this weekend, and that 1-2 finish, all the credit to the team. Picking ourselves up after the disappointment of Australia to come back with a result like that here in Imola was one of our best ever results. Congratulations have to be given to Red Bull as they continue to adapt to what the season has thrown at them. Despite their 3 DNFs in the first 3 races, they're still very much in a constructors' title battle with Ferrari. Moving on from those in the battle to those out of it, we need to talk about Mercedes, specifically the Lewis Hamilton half of the Silver Arrows. To give some context to the 7-time world champions weekend, we need to look at his teammate first. George Russell put in his 4th strong performance of the season. A 3rd place finish, 2 4th place finishes, and a 5th place finish are an impressive return in a car that Lewis Hamilton describes as undrivable. Russell made a great start to the race and went from 11th on the grid to 6th on the first lap. He fought past Kevin Magnussen's Haas and benefited from Leclerc's error late in the race. He might have been able to make a move on Norris, who finished 3rd, but Mercedes were unable to adjust his front wing as planned during their pit stop, which meant he was battling with a difficult balance for the rest of the race. Russell drove a mature race and cruised home in 4th place. Hamilton, on the other hand, had a terrible weekend. Probably his worst in recent memory, if you exclude those featuring crashes or car issues. He was unable to make a move all weekend and finished Sunday's race in 13th place after starting 14th. Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Daniel Ricciardo, who all started ahead of him, had incidents which saw their races ruined though. If those 3 had managed to avoid any incidents, Hamilton would have finished 16th. Toto Wolff apologised to Hamilton after the race for the car being so bad. But with Russell finishing 4th, isn't it Hamilton who should be apologising to Toto? McLaren were the final big story from the weekend, with Lando Norris securing the first podium of the season. His 3rd place finish shot him to 6th in the championship, 7 points ahead of 7th place Lewis Hamilton. Remember the first race of the season when McLaren finished 14th and 15th and everyone was shouting about how they made a huge mess of their car design? Well, we shouldn't have bothered getting so agitated. The team has improved at every race this season. If Daniel Ricciardo can avoid any more on-track incidents, then McLaren have a real chance of catching Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship over the next few races. Norris has had a taste of the podium now, and he definitely won't want it to be his last this season. Let us know your favourite story from the weekend in the comments below. And while you're down there, please subscribe to F101, and I'll see you in the next video.